So in our previous classes, we have seen how we can use Playwright to interact with different elements on the web page. So we have seen how to interact with input boxes, check boxes, reader button, drop down tables, date pickers, and how we can do mouse actions or mouse events, keyboard actions, right? So from today, we are going to focus on Playwright specific features. So whatever so far we covered, those features are there in even Selenium also. But especially Playwright is also having their own features which are not there in Selenium. Okay. So we will try to focus on those topics from today. And we will also see how we can uh, use Playwright features. Along with that, we will also see how we can achieve page object model. Okay, and other features, other important feature. Data driven testing is also one of the topic which is pending. How we can automate data driven test cases using different type of files, like how we can use JSON file, CSV file, Excel file. So we will also cover the topic. So especially today's concept, we will focus on Playwright features, and especially how we can record the videos of our test case and how we can capture the screenshot, and also we will see how we can debug the test by using TraceViewer. So TraceViewer is one of the most important component which is available in Playwright. So by which we can achieve time traveling feature from Playwright. Also, we can see each and every step before and after action, what are the steps are executed, how we can see the logs, network logs. There are many things are there in TraceViewer. So that is one of the most important component which we have to learn from Playwright. Okay. So we'll see one by one in today's class. First, we will start with how we can capture the videos and screenshot of your test case. Okay. So to do that, previous class, we have seen about browser context. So how we can create browser, right? How we can get the Playwright feature and browser, and based on the browser, we can create a context. And by using context, we can create multiple pages, right? So in the same context, browser context, we have multiple options we can provide. Browser settings and all we can do inside the browser context. So video capture is also one of the option which is available in the browser context itself. And there are many ways to do that. So we can capture the videos through the code and through some configuration file, or we can do some configurations. And even screenshot also, we can capture the screenshot through code, and also we can achieve with the configurations. So all the approaches I will show you one by one. Listen very carefully. Okay. So first thing, let us see how we can record the videos of our test case. Okay, that's the first thing. Then we will see the screenshot, capturing the screenshot. So to take the video recording of our test case, first we will try to create one simple test case, and I will show you how we can capture the recorded video. So this particular feature is not there in Selenium. And if you want to achieve this, again, we have to integrate with some third-party API like A-Shot and other things. But Selenium alone is not provided this type of features. So let us see how we can achieve this video recording and capture the screenshot. And you can find this information even in the Playwright official documentation also, right? So now let us go to PyCharm, and let us go and create new directory for today's class, day 32. And inside this, I'm simply creating a new Python file. I will call it as a test underscore video recording. If you have one test, we can create a video for each and every step. And if you have a multiple tests also, we can create a videos for multiple tests. Depends. So I'm just creating test underscore video recording, a Python file. Now inside this, I'm going to create one test, a simple test case. Before that, I'm importing Playwright Sync API and creating simple test function. So def test underscore record underscore video, and we need a browser context for recording the video. Okay, so I'm getting the Playwright feature for recording the video. So I'm taking Playwright. Right. So how to create a browser context? So in the previous classes, we have already seen that. So by using this Playwright feature, we can create a browser context. So what is the first step? Playwright dot which browser we want to launch. We need to specify that dot launch. And whenever you say browser context, if you want to execute our test in the headless mode, right? So by default, headless mode is true. So we need to make it false. So this is mandatory if you want to run your test cases in headed mode whenever you want to use browser context. So I'm using headless equal to, I'm making false. Okay. And even if you run your test case headless mode or headed mode, record will be created. Recorded file will be created. So now I'm going to store this in a browser variable. So with this, I have created a simple browser. By using this browser, we can create a multiple context. So here I need one single context is enough. So I'm going to create one single context, browser dot new context. And inside the context, normally what we will see, browser dot new context, this will return the context. So by using this context, we can create a page. So context dot new page. So this will go and create a new page, and this will actually return our own page, and then we will use page dot go to and then particular URL, right? So to record the video, we can also pass, yeah, even in the headless mode, true or false, the recorded video will be created. Okay, right. So now we created the browser and context, and we created a page, and then rest of the code will be continued with the page. Now, the additional thing which we need to add here is video option, right? So we want to create a video for each and every step in your test case. So for that, in the new context, whenever you are creating the new context, here we need to pass a parameter. There are multiple options are there. If you put the cursor here under new context, you can see these are the different options: viewport, screen, ignore HTTP errors, JavaScript enabled. There are n number of options are provided in the documentation. So in the new context, we can pass required parameters depends upon our requirement. So for now, we need to record the video of the test case. So for that, we have an option here called video record video directory. First, two parameters we need to pass. You can put them in the single line or you can put them in the multiple lines. So you can just put multiple lines. The first parameter is record video dir. So record video directory. So where you want to keep the video. So the directory we need to specify. That's the first parameter. So most of the times video, screenshot, everything, the files which are related to your project we will keep inside the project framework itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new directory here. Even though if you're not created by default, your script will automatically create the folder. Okay, no problem. So here what I'm doing, I'm just giving a directory video slash. So by default, we are in the project directory itself. So when I give just a videos slash, this directory or folder will be created inside our project by default. Or wherever you want to create, you can just give the full path also. If the folder is already available, no problem. If folder is not still available, it will create a new folder automatically. Okay. So video slash, this is the folder name I'm giving. This is one parameter. So where we want to keep the video file, comma. The second parameter is video file size, because the video can be the dimensions, right? So when you look at the YouTube videos, there will be some dimensions in like size of the video size that is representing a dimension, like 900 into 1024 like this HD quality and so on, right? So multiple dimensions are there. So we can put some standard dimension here, recorded video size, record video size. These are the two important mandatory parameters we need to pass. So most of the times we will follow a standard size. The video size is width and height we need to specify. In the curly braces we need to pass, okay, because this is basically a dictionary object. So in the curly braces, key and value pair. So the key is width and colon, and the standard size is 1024, comma, and the second parameter is height, comma, 768. This is a normal standard, okay? This video recorded size is standard. So even though if you're not provided this option, still the video will be recorded in the same size. Okay, this is a customized option. This is optional actually, not mandatory, but better to keep the size. So this is these are the two options we need to provide in the new context. So this will take care of creating the video of our test case. Okay. Now we created the page using page context, and then we can continue rest of the code. So what I'm going to do is I have already have a simple script here. Let me copy this. I just recorded simple script. So we already created a page. So by using the same page, I'm just going to this web page. Let me open this first of all. This is the web page, so demoblaze.com. And what I'm doing in this web page, I'm just clicking on the login link. Now you got the login page. And here I'm passing a username and then password and then clicking on the login. And after that, I'm just verifying the logout link is visible or not. And then whatever username you provided in the login screen, that username should be displayed here along with the welcome message that I want to validate. So I can keep multiple assertions. Now let's go back and see the code. So I just go to click on the login link, then username I'm filling, password also I'm filling here, then clicking on the login button. Then I'm waiting for a few seconds to get the dashboard page, and I'm verifying two things. So logout link should be present and the name of the user. This is the locator I've captured for this element. Welcome Pavan OL, right? So this is the element I've captured. And in this element, I'm verifying the text. So this is the text I'm expecting. Okay, simple. The test I have created. Okay, so one important thing is whenever you run this particular test, if you want to see this video or if you want to create this video, so it not only these options, apart from this, we need to close the context. So that is a mandatory step. Okay, so the whole context session should be closed. Then only you will be able to see the video. So that is also best practice. Whenever you create a new browser, new context, always try to close them. Okay, before, after execution of our test, try to close them. So first context should be closed, context dot close, and then browser should be closed, browser dot close, because the session will be ended, then video file will be ready. Until unless you close, sometimes you won't see the video in the folder. Okay, so this is a simple test I have created, and you can create multiple tests. But in the real time, in the framework, what we will do is we will make this contest as a common for all the test cases. So for example, if I write another test in the same file, again, you need to create another context because this context won't work for another test method, right? So we can also create a different reusable fixture in which we can keep this context. Okay, we will see that also as part of framework, how we can organize the reusable components. But for now, I have only one single test. And in the context itself, I provided the options. And now let us run this and see whether it is creating the video file or not. So after creating the video, we can also play and see how exactly it perform the steps. So my test is done. Now let me run the test. So to run this test, we already created our own browser context and headless. We provided false itself. So when you run this test through the UI, here you no need to provide -" headed. Okay, here it is not needed. Why? Because we already configured in the browser itself. So we can directly run it. Now, as of now, I don't have a videos folder, whichever we provided here. This folder is not there in my framework. It will go and create once execution is done. So let me run this. I can simply say run. Okay, now it is picking up the test. Yeah, so now it is launched my browser. Launch application URL, login, successful. And after that, it is get passed. Now we will see the where is video is got created. Now we can look at this. The new folder is got created. Inside this new folder, video folder, now we can see this is a video file. It is not MP3 or MP4. By default, it is created webm, .webm. And you can play this file in any media player. Okay. So what I can do is I can just try to right click. If you want to play this file, you can just right click and you can say open in. And you can just say open in associated application. There are multiple options. Open in associated application. You can choose this option. And now it is directly played with the window. Now you can see the same video which is got recorded and it is just playback. Okay. So this is simple test I have created within few seconds, within I think 5 seconds, everything is got completed. I'll show you one more time. You can just right click and open in associated application. Done. So this is how we can simply create videos for your test cases. This is one way. There is another way. This is with code. Okay, without coding also we can configure these options in pytest.ini file. Actually, that feature is not comes from Playwright, which is PyTest feature. So that also I will show you. This is one approach. Okay, how to capture the video from the test. So later I will show you how we can capture screenshot everything through configuration file. So first we will see everything through code. Now let's go to the screenshots. So how we can capture the screenshot of your test. And there are multiple things. We can capture the screenshot of our test, or we can capture the screenshot only on the failure. There are multiple options are there, and we can see those options in the configuration file. So let's go and create another test for capturing the screenshots. Create new Python file, test underscore, I call it as a screenshots, test underscore screenshots. Okay. So first of all, we will see how we can capture the screenshot through the code. And there are multiple approaches are there. So we can capture the full page screenshot. And or sometimes you can see if we open this page and you can't see the entire page right on the browser. If you want to see the bottom of the page, you need to scroll down like this. So if you want to capture screenshot, we can just capture the page, whatever is visible here, or you can capture the full page from top to bottom, or you can capture the screenshot of the particular section of the page or particular element from this page. It depends upon our requirement. Okay, let's see how we can do this using code. So for this, we need multiple things here because we can also capture the screenshot by adding some timestamp kind of thing, because otherwise the screenshot will be duplicated. Every time when you run, the new screenshot will be generated. If I give standard name, the old screenshot will be replaced with the new screenshot. So here we can also create a screenshot with the dynamic name. So to make the name dynamic, we can add timestamp to the screenshot name, file name. So we'll see how we can do that. So first of all, we will import Playwright stuff and then create def test underscore screenshots underscore demo. And here we don't need any browser context. Okay, if you want to create browser context, you can create, but we are not going to pass any parameters in the browser context. So I'm directly taking the page picture directly you can use. Because for videos, we are passing options in the browser context. So that's the reason we have taken there. But here we don't need it. Right, so we can directly write our test script. So I'm writing simple page dot go to. And at this time, I'm trying to use this application. Go back to our old application. So this is our page. So let us see how to capture the screenshot of page and different options. So go back and this is the page I'm going to launch it right now. So first of all, there are multiple things I have said, right? So first thing, page screenshot. Second is full page screenshot. Third thing is element or specific section of the page screenshot. So it depends upon our requirement. We can take it different ways. So page screenshot is nothing but it is not full page actually. This is a partially page. Or we can say visible page. Whatever is visible on the browser, only that part we can capture. So if I look at this, currently only this part is visible on the page, but there is still some content in the web page if you scroll down the page, right? So these are the three options. So first option. So how we can capture the page screenshot, like whichever is visible on this particular page. Simple. So for that, we can use one method called page picture we already have, right? So by using this page, we have one method called screenshot, page.screenshot, direct method. In this, we can pass a path. So where do you want to have the screenshot? Where you want to keep the screenshot of the test? So for that, we can simply put the path, like how we can specify using path variable. Okay, path. So path equal to, in the double quotes, we can specify where exactly you want to create the screenshot. So what I'm going to do is I'm giving one folder called screenshots, and I say slash. And apart from this, and where this folder will be created inside the project. Okay, screenshot slash, and I want to give some name to the screenshot. So we should give the name also for the screenshot. So I'm giving some name called homepage. Homepage. And what is an extension of the file? All extensions are allowed, like JPG, PNG, JPEG, any extension. I'm checking PNG. So we need to provide the path, folder name, along with the name of the file. Okay. So this is how we can specify the screenshot path. This is the first thing. Path equal to this one. Now, so let us run this. I've not created the multiple steps. I've just launched the page and this capture the screenshot. And if you have a multiple steps, you can just add the statement and whichever screenshot you want to capture. So in that particular action step, under the step, you can add the statement. Okay. So I'm just capturing the home page. I'm just executing only one single statement. So let us see whether it is capturing the screenshot or not with this statement. Go back, and here we have not used any browser context. So when you run this, we need to specify headed mode, hyphen headed mode. Say apply. Okay. And then run it. It will just launch the page and capture the screenshot. So how much page is visible on the browser? Only that part will be captured. Now let us go back and see. Yeah, now screenshot folder is got created. Now you can see whatever name I have given here with the same name, the file is got created. Now if I just double click, opens the page. So this is a partial page. It's not complete full page. Okay. Suppose if I run the same test one more time, what will happen? Again, it will capture the screenshot, but the same name I have given every time, right? So old screenshot will be replaced with the new screenshot, new file. Old name will be replaced with the new file. But every time when I capture the screenshot, I want to maintain the multiple files. First round, second round, third round, 3-4 times I will execute the test case. Every time I want to capture the same screenshot but different names because I want to maintain the history of the screenshots. So to do that, we need to add a timestamp to this particular name. Okay. So to add the timestamp, we have something called a time module in Python. So the default module is there. So which is called time module. Sorry, date and time. That we need to first import. Let me import this. Import, I say date and time. Import date and time. And time module also, there are two different ways. I will show you both the ways. So first we will see the time module. Okay, import time module imported. Now with this time, we should able to generate the current timestamp. So current timestamp in the sense what? Day, year, month, date, hours, minutes, and seconds. Everything should be part of this. So by using the time module, we can create a timestamp. So at the beginning, I'm creating one simple timestamp. How we can create timestamp equal to. So I have already imported time module, right? So inside this module, we have to call one method called time. Actually, this time method will return the time in the different format. So floating format in decimal type of thing. So we need to convert that into number format. For that, what we need to do typecast. Again, when you pass this timestamp along with the file name, that should be in string format. So once you convert it in integer format, again that should be converted into string format. Again, I can concatenate again with the str. So this is the whole thing. So this will give the current timestamp, right? So now this timestamp we need to attach to the file name. So how we can attach them? We can format this output. So we can format this string actually. So how to format using keyword called f, and here homepage underscore homepage underscore, I can use curly braces, and inside the curly brace, I can pass this timestamp. This is the way. Okay, this is the way. So whatever timestamp we generated here, that we are passing into name of the file, and which is a formatted we have done. So we just use a F keyword. This is the one way we can pass the timestamp to the page. Now again, I'm running this test. See, previously just homepage.png is got created. Now when I run this one more time, the old file still remains the same, but the new file will be created with the timestamp. Now I'm running it again. Right. So now if I look at this, this is got created. So 176036736, it is included everything actually. We cannot go dig into this. This is a different kind of timestamp which is given. But every time it keeps changing. Okay. It is also considering milliseconds. So every time the new file will be created. This is one way. And suppose if you want to create timestamp with your own understandable format, so we can also do that. Instead of using time model, we can also use another way, date and time. That is also built-in module in Python. That we need to import. Import date and time. This is again built-in module. So this is the one approach we have seen, right? Now another approach I'm going to show you. So just comment this. And another approach is again, take this timestamp equal to, we already have date time module. Use this date time dot now. Date time dot, and one more time, date time dot now. So basically what this now method is written, this is returning the date and time in the different format actually. Construct a date time from time and optional time zone info. So it is returning something. But here additionally, we need to add one method, strf time. Okay, this is one method. Here we can put format actually. So this will return the time. It will return the date, month, and everything, but that is not in proper format. Like previously, we generated the timestamp, right? This is the format. But we want to clearly understand which one is year, which one is month, which one is a date, hour, seconds. If you want to understand clearly, here we can pass a time format. So here we can pass the format. So I'll specify what is the format we need to pass. And all these things you can see the Python documentation itself. So here I want to print first. So percentile capital Y, which is representing year, percentile small m, which is representing month in the numeric format, percentile D, which is also representing the day in the numeric format, percentile H, capital H, which is representing the hours, percentile M, which is representing the minutes, again percentile S, which is representing the seconds. So this is actually format. Now we can easily understand after generating the timestamp. So same timestamp, again I'm passing into the screenshot. Now let me run one more time. I'll run it. Done. Now we can look at this. This is more meaningful this time. So you can see 2025 is year, 10 is basically a month, 13 is a date, and date after that hours, 20, 33, 20. It is following 24 hours time format. So it is basically 20, 33, 21 it is giving. So this is more meaningful. So again, if you run the test case multiple times, every time it will generate the new screenshot. So these are the different options which we have here. Okay, so this is how we can capture a partial page screenshot. Now let us look at the full page screenshot. So far we have just created a partial page. If I look at all three screenshot, it's just giving a partial screenshot. Now I want to capture the full page screenshot. So to capture the full page screenshot, again, we use the same method, but this time we want to use a different options. So here page.screenshot path parameter is exactly same, and we need to pass some additional parameter here. Just say comma full page lowercase full underscore page equal to, we should make it as a true. Full page equal to true. So this particular parameter will capture the full page screenshot. This is single equal to, okay. full page equal to true. So when you pass this option, then it will capture the full page screenshot. Let us run one more time. So even though the page is visible in small way, so but still take the full page. Now take the latest one, open this. Now we can look at this. This is our full page screenshot. You can maximize and look at this. Okay, this is one more option which is available. So you can just pass this option. Right. So actually both are same. Only thing is here we are not passing this parameter. So only partial page is taken, but here full page is taken. Now the third thing is a specific section of the page or specific element screenshot also we can capture. And for that we need to use a locator. We need a locator for that particular section of the page or for the particular element of the page. We need a locator. Okay. So let's see how we can capture the locator. So on the same page, I want to capture the screenshot of this particular logo element. Simply what you can just inspect this element and get the CSS or any other locator and capture this locator. Go back and get that element page dot locator. So this will actually return the element. So store that element in a variable, let's say logo. Now I want to capture the screenshot of this particular logo element. So now this time use logo, not page dot screenshot. You have to use logo dot screenshot. So this screenshot is available in both element as well as in the page. So this time we want to capture the screenshot of the particular logo element screenshot. And rest of the same. Here we no need to give full path or anything. Just like this, we can pass the same parameter. Path equal to screenshot, and this time I'm giving a different name as a logo underscore timestamp dot png. So we can capture the specific element. And suppose if you want to capture specific section of the page, let's say on the same page, if I scroll down, I have a featured products. Now I want to capture the screenshot of all the featured products. Total 6 products are displaying here. Now I want to capture the screenshot of this entire section, featured products. Then we want to write a proper locator which is pointing to this particular section. So let us see how we can do that. So inspect this, go to selector hub, and properly we need to write. So I look at here, this one, this particular div tag is matching with the entire section. If I look at this particular div element is matching with entire section, right? So now let us take this locator, one element. The entire feature product section is considered as a one element. Now take this locator and now you can use. This is also specific section. And this one element and section is also same. Specific section. Then how we can do this? Page dot locator. Pass this locator element, and this is feature products section. Now I want to capture the screenshot of this. Take this element dot screenshot, and again same procedure. You can simply specify the path. Where do you want to see this? So here I just give this different name called feature products and timestamp dot png. That's it. So here I'm taking logo screenshot and also I'm taking a specific section of the screenshot. Let's run this now. Okay, perfect. Now you can look at this. This is our logo screenshot, PNG. Double click and you can see the logo screenshot. And feature products, double click, you can see only feature products. Right, so these are the different ways to capture the screenshots, videos and the screenshots. Okay, now the third thing. So far what we have seen, how to capture the videos, and also how to capture the screenshots. This is one way we have seen through the code. Okay, through the code we have seen. Without writing the code also we can do that. So now the third thing is capture the trace. This is very, very important concept in Playwright. This feature is not there in any other automation tools. So this tracing feature is very, very important, very useful from Playwright. So we'll try to understand this, what is exactly this means. Trace. So trace is basically providing so many features, and especially time travel feature is provided by tracing. And not only that, we can see the advanced level logs, network logs, and we can also navigate to future and past. Each and everything we can see in our test execution, and everything will be captured into the trace. So whenever your tests are got failed, immediately get the trace file in the zip format it will generate, get the trace file and simply send it to the developer. So developer can unzip it, he can analyze what is an issue. We can easily understand by using trace. Not only logs, it contains a lot of other information through which even the developers also we can easily debug the issues in our application. Okay. So let us see how to capture the trace. And we will also see the functionality of the tracing. And this is especially specific Playwright feature. Okay. Right. So now tracing part. So again, I'll show you how to get the trace file using code itself. And once you understand this, then I will show you all three things using configuration file. Okay. Without writing any single line of code, we can capture the video, screenshot and trace. That is a different thing again. Okay. I'll show you at one shot. But now we will see how to capture the trace using coding by writing some simple steps. Okay, so now for that, I'm also creating some another test file. I call it as a test underscore tracing. And inside this, and whatever test we have already written previously, I'm just copy pasting. So this is video recorded file we created, right? So what I'll do is here we need a browser context. And without browser context also, we can do that. But here, especially in the test, I'm going to show you using browser context. Same test I'm copying as it is for tracing. But here, this time, we don't need this videos and all. Same test, same Playwright fixture we are passing, and we need a browser context to generate the trace file. Browser context and rest of the test is exactly same, no change. Okay. Now, so to get the trace file, we no need to pass any parameters in the context actually. Inside the context, we no need to pass any params. It is just empty. Okay, but to generate the trace file, we need this context variable. So how we can use this context variable? Before going to create a page, here we need to start getting the trace file. So to initiate the trace file and starting and stopping, there are two things are there. Stopping the trace and starting the trace and stopping the trace. So there are two entries we need to add in the script. The first here, as soon as you created your context, here we need to add tracing. So that is up to you where you want to start, where you want to end. Suppose you have 100 lines of code. Sometimes you want to get the trace for all the 100 lines, or sometimes I want to get the trace only for 1 to 10 lines, or sometimes you need only 50 to 100 lines. That is up to you. What are the statements you want to get the trace? So here I want to get the trace for all the steps I provided in the test. So I'm starting the trace before initiating the page. So how we can start the trace here? Starting the trace. To start it, use the context. Use the context dot. This is a context dot. There is a method called tracing. Tracing dot start. Okay. Context dot tracing dot start. So here we can pass multiple parameters inside the start. There are multiple name, title, name of the trace, title, snapshot, screenshot, sources. There are multiple options. Most of the times, default name will be created. Whatever name you have given to the test case, default name it will be created. Otherwise, you can give our own name. But most important thing is screenshots. Here also we can specify screenshot true because in the trace file, is basically a zip file which contains all information, video, screenshot, logs, network logs, locators, everything is bundled into one single zip file. So I can provide one option called screenshots equal to true and snapshot also we need. So that is another important. Snapshots also we need to make it as a true. So until unless you have these two options, there is no use of trace. Okay. So these two things should be populated in the trace file. So this is the starting the trace. So where do you want to end the trace? So after completion of my test, I want to end the trace. Okay. So that you need to do before closing context and browser. So here I will do that. Here I'm stopping the trace. Here I'm stopping the trace. How to stop? Instead of start, you can simply say stop. And here you no need to pass these two parameters, but ultimately we need to pass one more additional parameter called path. Where do you want to have the trace file? Where do you want to create the trace file? So after stopping the trace, you need to provide the path. Path equal to, so I'm giving some name called trace.zip. Most of the times it is only zip file. So this file directly created inside the project directory itself. Okay. So here we have started and we are stopped. So if you have 100 lines of code, you can keep wherever you want to start, you can keep this. Wherever you want to stop, you can keep this. Two statements are mandatorily required to generate the trace file. Okay, once it is generated, I will explore what exactly the trace file, what it contains, how we can use it and all. Okay, now, so let's try to execute the test. So we already created the headless mode and everything. So headed mode. Let's run the test and see how exactly the trace file is going to create. As of now, I don't have any trace.zip file. Now it is going to create. Let's run the test. So test underscore tracing. I'm running the test. So now my test is running. Login. Successful login. And then close the page. And test is passed. And now you can look at the folders. You can see this. Trace.zip file is got created. Till here, everything is easy, very simple. We can just add one single statement for starting and ending, stopping. Now, the major thing is we need to analyze the trace. Sometimes your test may fail or sometimes it may skip, it may pass. So we need to identify the reasons where it is failed, why it is failed, what went wrong and all. So all these things we can get it from the trace file itself, which is very helpful for testers as well as developer at the time of fixing the issues. Now, so to analyze this zip file, we cannot directly open it. So this zip file, we cannot directly open it. There are two ways to open the trace file. There are two ways to open this trace file. So one approach is through the command. Through the CLI command, we can open the zip file. The second approach is there is a website to open the trace files. You can just drag and drop the zip file. It will automatically open the trace file. There are two options out there. Okay, so let me show you what are those options. So to see the trace file, first of all, let's go to terminal. Okay, now we are in the terminal. Here you can see the terminal option. We are in the terminal in the same project. In the same project, the trace.zip file is present. So here we need to give one CLI command, which is playwright show hyphen trace. This is the command playwright show hyphen trace space, then give the name of the trace file, trace.zip. Trace, what is the name of trace? Trace.zip. So you cannot open the zip file directly. Even if you open it, you cannot see anything. The information, you can see only files, but the visibility you will lose. So you need to open the file using this command, playwright show trace.zip. Now I'm executing this. See the beauty of this. Once executed this command, the new window will be open like this. This is a TraceViewer window. This is a TraceViewer window. Just hold on. I'll explain what exactly it is, what is the purpose, what is the use. There are very, very important. This one is from Playwright. Okay. There is no other tool having this kind of feature. Now, let us see and explore what exactly this TraceViewer and what is the use of it. Okay. This is having more number of features, guys. Let me tell you. The first and most important feature is time travel. So what is time travel feature? And if I look at this, let me maximize this window. Yeah. What is time travel? If I look at the top bar, you can see that this is called timing. 200 milliseconds, 400 milliseconds, showing the time, right? So when you move the cursor like this, when exactly my test is got started, exactly in 1.6 seconds, my test is got started. Here it is started. And then it is went on like this. Now, if I just move the cursor, It is showing each and every activity, what is happening on your application. This is called time travel feature from Playwright. You can just go forward and go back like this. So by just navigating your cursor on the screenshots, you will see the navigation. Okay, if you have a multiple steps, you can see all the steps in all the screenshot. Each and every screenshot of the page you can look at here. So first initially launch this page, and then it is open the login page, then provided information, then click on the login, then it is went to the dashboard page here. So when it is got completed at exactly 4.4 seconds, my test is got completed. So you can just move forward and go backward like this. This is called time travel feature. Second, and all these things will be useful whenever your tests are got failed. If everything is goes well, no problem at all. But sometimes if a tests are unstable or sometimes you may have flaky test, then this will be very, very useful. It is, you can easily identify where it gets stopped, why it got stopped, what type of data you entered, everything, each and everything at micro level, you can look at in this bar. So this is time travel feature. Now, another one, go to the left side. There are two tabs here, actions, metadata. Actions means what here? Each and every action, whatever we have done on the application is showing. So create a page, then navigated this index.html page and click on this login, then fill the data, again fill another password. You can just look at this. Whenever I'm moving the cursor on this particular action or step, it is pointing the element on the screenshot. Now you can look at the right side screenshot. I put the cursor on the navigate, then I move cursor on the click. So second step, I put my cursor on the click, second action. Now you can see there is red ball, which is identifying that element, login, it's pointing that element. And again, fill and fill. You can see, look at this and click. Now you can see it is pointing the login window. And then expect, these are assertions, so it is nothing is there for showing. So you can just highlighting the elements. Whenever you move the cursor on this each and every action, parallelly, at the right side, it is highlighting the elements on the web page. These are all the different actions we have done. Second thing is metadata. And here it will show you some more detailed information, like when exactly it started, timestamp and everything, how much time it is taken, which browser we have used, which platform, and viewport, like how much size of the page is displayed. So by default, this is the size 1280, 720. Even video also the same size. Is mobile? No, it is a desktop we have used. And how many pages we have navigated? Only single page. How many actions we have done? 9 actions. How many events we triggered internally? 10 events is triggered. So this is more detailed information it will show. This is called metadata. Actions, metadata. Now come to these three tabs. Action, before, after. It is also most important. Let's go to the action. So as of now, go to the actions tab first of all. Action is nothing but these are the actions. For every action, there will be before action and after action, right? So for example, let's say I'm highlighting this particular step, fill Pavan OL. I'm just clicking on the step. So as of now, this is the screenshot is giving. Now, before doing this fill, what is the action we have done before? So that if you want to see, go to the before tab. So when you click on the before tab, this here it will show you the before action. And if you click on the after, it will show you the after action. Now you can look at this, or you can select another action. For example, I'm selecting this one. So before clicking on this, what we have done, we have entered the password and the username. So go to before tab. Now you can see username and password is got to enter. And after clicking on that, what will happen? Go to after tab. Now it will show you. So after clicking on the login, it is waiting for some time here. Okay. And then it will go to next statement. So this is before and after action will be shown for every action. There will be before action and after action. So these are the three tabs. Now scroll down. Now you can look at this bottom window. There are multiple tabs you can see. Locator, call, log, errors, console, network, source, attachments. Locator. So here for every action we have used some locator, right? So here also you can paste the locator and check this is highlighting the element or not. So for example, let's say this is the locator, hash login password. So here I'm typing the same locator, hash login, say password. And when I click on this, it will just try to highlight this element. You can see locator login password. It is just giving some tooltip kind of thing. So if you want to locate the elements from here, if you want to check, you can also paste the locator and also check it is highlighting properly or not. Sometimes because of locator, it is failing some test, for example. Then instead of this locator, you can choose or check another locator is working or not here itself. And if it is working here, then you can use the same locator. Again, you can modify the test. And the call. So here internally, whenever you trigger any action, internally there will be some calls will be happen to the server, like how many seconds it happened, how many duration it is taking. For each step, it will show you the particular call. Like say, for example, I click on the login to button. So when I click on this button, this particular call went to server. So how much time it is taken when I click on the login to button? 1.9 seconds, 112 milliseconds duration, 1.9 seconds exactly started. And this is the parameter we have passed. Stick to mode true. Maximum timeout it is taken. Maximum timeout is by default Playwright is given to every action. This is auto waiting mechanism internally will follow. Okay, so for every action, what type of calls are triggered into the server? So that information will be showed on the call tab, the log. And again, in the call tab, these details are action specific. Okay, so whichever action we have selected, corresponding data will be shown in the call tag in all the tabs again. So whichever action we selected, corresponding data will be shown in the locator, call, logs, errors, everywhere. Depends on the action you have chosen here. Now I'm taking some action here. Click action. Now go to the log. See in the log, when I click on this login button, so these are the logs will be generated. It's waiting for the login button and locator is got resolved, attempting the click action, waiting for the element to be visible, enable stable, element is still not stable, retrieving the click action, waiting for element. So this is automatic mechanism will be followed by Playwright. So these are the different logs generated for this. And let me take another one. So for every action, so for example, take this expectation, these are the logs will be generated. For every action, the logs will be generated. And errors. So if there are any errors, if any action is got failed, if there are any errors occur, in the errors tab will be shown here. And console. So in the console also, it will show you some kind of information. So the developers most of the times can understand here, like network related stuff. So videos have taken reload. So here some error is gone. So when you communicating with the server from the client, so these type of errors will be triggered sometimes. So those things also will be captured from the network. So here network is another tab. And especially when you're working with the API testing, these things will be very useful. So you can also capture the network logs, especially when you triggering the API calls like get, put, post, delete. So the network information is very useful. You can see for every action internally, some API call will be triggered. So most of the time, these are the HTTP requests. Most of the times, you can see the get request, post request, and somehow here get request is failed. Again, it is retrieved and continue this. So for these actions, there are different type of API request internally sent to the server. So this network tab will be shown. So what is the status code? What is the content type, duration, size? All this information will be shown for each and every action. So we'll understand this information more about in API testing. Okay, I will cover this part at that time. So what is HTTP code, status code, content type, all these things will be covered in API testing. So this is network tab and source is this is the code actually we have run. This is a source code. And if there are any attachments and all, so here it will show you. Otherwise it is empty. Okay, so all this information will be very useful when you're finding the issues in your automation or debugging the code or identifying the issues in your application. So all these times, this trace file will be very, very useful. It contains everything along with the logs also. So you no need to capture the separate logs for your test cases. Your trace file contains everything. And as of now, we set this trace only for one test. But in the real time, you will have multiple tests, create a trace file. So we can do that in the framework later. Okay. I'll show you that how we can create the trace file for multiple test cases. So this is all about tracing. Trace is nothing but it will help us to debugging the information. All information is required, especially when you're debugging your code or debugging your application issues and all. At the development point of view, it will be very useful. Even though if you're not understood something from this, developers can easily understand all these things like network log, consoles, errors, logs, and everything. And based on that only, they can replicate the issues in their environment and they can try to fix them. Okay. So this is all about tracing. This is especially Playwright specific built-in feature. Playwright specific built-in feature. Okay. So far, we have seen three things: capture the videos, capture the screenshot, capture the trace. Now, one more feature which we have from Playwright, which is called auto-retrieve. Auto-retrieve, which is also called as a rerun. And interview perspective, these are all very important because these are all Playwright specific features which are not there in Selenium. Auto-retrieve or rerun. So in Selenium, suppose if your test is got failed, then what you will do? Again, you will rerun manually, right? There is no automatic mechanism in Selenium. So if your test is got failed, you need to rerun your, again, one more time you need to initiate the run. But in Playwright, there is auto retrieve option available. So what is auto retrieve? So let us try to understand this feature. Auto retrieve. Let's say your test is got executed first time, first round, your test is got executed, failed. Failure in the sense it is not automation issue because of multiple reasons. Your test is got failed. Maybe your network is not your network speed is very less, or your page is loading very slowly, or some animation images or animation is running on your web page. Because of some multiple reasons, your test is unstable. Means sometimes it is passing, sometimes it is failing. And without doing any changes in your code, it is passing sometimes and sometimes it is failing. Same test case without doing any changes. That is the behavior of a test case. So such type of test cases, we call them as a flaky tests. Remember this term, okay? Flaky test. So flaky test is nothing but what? Sometimes will fail or sometimes it will pass. Means it is not a test case issue. Test case is perfectly right. All statements, whatever we have done, everything is perfectly fine. It is executing sometimes, but sometimes it is failing because of some other unstable issues. And such type of tests we call as a flaky tests. Okay. Now, so how we can handle this flaky test? Using auto retrieve mechanism. So to handle the flaky test, we will use auto retrieve mechanism, which is provided by Playwright. Okay. So let's see how we can do that. Suppose my test is got failed first time. Then what we should do? We should rerun it. And this time is cost passed. And again rerun it. Again it is failed. Again rerun it. Sometimes it is passed, sometimes it is failed. So these type of tests we call as a flaky tests. Okay, these type of tests are called flaky test. But in Selenium, how we need to handle this? We need to manually run it. There is no other way. But in Playwright, provided a new feature called auto retrieve mechanism. So what is this auto retrieve mechanism? So at the time of running the test case, we can specify how many times it should rerun the test if it is failed. So okay, first time my test is got executed, passed. If it is passed, no problem. Suppose if it is a failed, then I want to execute one more time. So that how many times you want to rerun the test if it is got failed, that number you have to specify. Let's say I specify the rerun time or auto retrieve time is auto retrieve number of times are 3. Then what happens? 3 times it will execute. For example, let's say I provided 3. First time my test is got failed. Will it rerun or not automatically? Yes or no? First time it is got failed. I provided rerun number of times for 3. So first time it is got failed. Will it rerun or not? Please respond. Will it rerun or not? First time failed? Yes, it will rerun. Again, second time it is failed. Will it rerun or not? Yes, second time also it will rerun automatically. Third time also failed. Will it rerun or not? Yes. Fourth time is also failed. Will it rerun or not? No. Why? Because we provided only 3 times rerun it if it is failed. Okay. So this we can configure. So at the time of running the test, we can specify this number. If it is passed somewhere in the middle of the time, that's well. You no need to continue further. Suppose 3 times I've specified, first time itself is passed, then it won't rerun again. Okay, it won't rerun. So by default, you can specify this number 2 or 3 times. That is up to you. That is completely your choice. Okay, so there is no deciding the number and all. This is up to you. You can put 2 times or 3 times. That is up to you. So hardly we will specify 3 maximum. Okay, if 3 times continuously failing means definitely there should be issue. We need to figure out it later. But 3 is a approximate appropriate number. Okay, so auto-retry is only for failure. Exactly. So if my test is got passed, it won't go and rerun again. If the test is failed, then only it will rerun. Okay, so that's how auto-retry mechanism works in Playwright. Right. Now let us achieve this. How we can do that? So to do this, I want to fail my test intentionally at the runtime. Okay, my test is got passed. We cannot check whether it is auto-retrieving or not. If my test is failed at the runtime, then only we will check auto-retrieving mechanism is working or not. Okay, so we will see that. How we can do that? Let me show you. So how we can handle flaky test. So for that, I'm again going to create another test, simple test, and we will see auto-retrieving, how exactly the auto-retrieving is working. Go to new and take another file. Okay, I will call it as a test underscore flaky. Okay, test underscore flaky. So in this, I just copying the same test, whatever we have done in the previous example. I'm not done anything else. I just directly taken page, launching the page. Here I'm just waiting for some time because I just want to fail the test intentionally at the runtime. Okay, so I'll show you how to intentionally fail. If it is pass, nothing will happen. If it is a fail, then only it will happen. So for example, let's say here I will put 5 seconds only. So by default, this test will be executed and passed by default. Let me run and show. We can directly run from here, modify run config. But if you want to specify the options, here also you can specify, or through the command prompt also you can specify. So by default, what I'm going to do this time, I will run the test through command prompt. Okay, then we will see. So how to run the test through command prompt? I think in the beginning classes, I have shown you many times. I think we shifted to UI. Now again, we move on to the CLI. How to run the test through CLI? What is the command? PyTest. PyTest. So where exactly we created the test under day 32. Specify that path data 32 slash. What's the name of the test? Test underscore flaky. Test underscore flaky. The test name. Now we want to run in headed mode. So what is the option we need to provide for headed mode? Flaky.py. Then, so what is the parameter for running the test in headed mode? Hyphen hyphen headed. Hyphen hyphen headed. Next. Yeah, so now we have provided the parameters only this much. So by default, what happens? Our test will run in headed mode and everything will go successfully. Let me run this now. So one item is got collected, launching the page, and now it will go and click on the login. Successfully done. And my test will be passing. So there is no interruption because everything is got passed. There is no auto retrieving, nothing. Right? Now, what I will do is I will specify this time. I want to specify run this test if it is got failed. I just want to rerun the test if it is got failed. How many times you want to rerun if it is failed? 3 times. So that I can provide here. How we can specify? Give one space hyphen hyphen reruns. Hyphen hyphen reruns. 3 space, and between reruns you can also specify the delay time. Between the one rerun another rerun you can specify the delay time. That also you can specify, but optional. Hyphen hyphen reruns hyphen delay. Let's say 2 seconds. Delay is 2 seconds. This is the command. And one important thing, this particular feature we can achieve only through by installing additional plugin. Okay, so to achieve the auto retrieving in PyTest. So to achieving the auto retrieving in PyTest, I'm writing this point. To achieving auto retrieve in Playwright. My spelling mistakes are there, so please ignore. Auto retrieve in Playwright. So we need to install additional plugin. So what is the additional plugin is PyTest rerun failures. The plugin name is PyTest rerun failure. So how to install this particular plugin? Using pip command. Pip install PyTest rerun failures. So this is the prerequisite. Okay. This is a prerequisite to achieve the auto retrieving feature in Playwright. This is the prerequisite. So what is the prerequisite? PyTest rerun failures. This particular plugin we have to install. To install, we need to run this command. Pip install rerun, and then only this command will work. This command will work. Okay, so first we will install that and then come back and execute. This is the actual command we have to run. So till here everything is fine. But if you want to specify these rerun options and everything, you need to install this particular plugin. So I already installed this, and if not, you need to install it. So before running this, I'm going to install that. So you can directly install here, or you can directly go to the command prompt like this, open the command prompt. And here also you can install, like simply say pip install and specify the plugin. Whatever plugin you have installed, you can simply specify that. Press enter. So you can see requirement already satisfied, means I already installed it. So it is giving like this. So you need to run this command first. That is a prerequisite for achieving the auto retrieval. Right. Now I have already installed, so we can directly run this command. So first time I already run the test, it is passing, right? But this time, screen not sharing. Guys, can you see my screen? Is it visible? Okay. I think you can't see the command window, maybe. Okay, or else you can type this command, guys. Okay, so whatever command I've given here, pip install rerun failures, you can directly copy it here. Pip install rerun failures. Because you already have, it is giving requirement is satisfied. Satisfy the requirement. In your case, it will be installed. Few seconds it will take and it will install. Very simple. Right, now I'm clearing this. Now let us run the test. Okay, so I will give the document. No problem. I'll already make one simple document. I will give you. You can find all the commands in the document. Okay. Right. So now just copy this command. This is very important, guys. Listen carefully. So till here, everything is clear. We are running the test in headed mode. And I already run this earlier. It is passing, perfectly working. Now, additionally, I provided reruns 3 and delay is a 2. So when the test will be rerun, if it is a failed, then it will rerun. Okay. So how the test will be failed? So for example, here it is a to be visible. So you can also provide not visible. Here to content text or not to content text, it will fail. But again, if you rerun, again it will fail. Rerun again, it will fail. Multiple times it will fail. But here we want to ensure our test is unstable test case, not the failure test case every time, right? So what I will do at the runtime, I will fail the test intentionally. How we will fail, I will show you. So I just give maximum 10,000 seconds here, because after clicking on the login, I will navigate to different page in the runtime. Manually, I will do that so that the logout button, a logout link, and the name of the user won't be visible on the page. Our test will fail, obviously, right? So I will do that intentionally. So let me run this command. I say reruns 3. Remember that point. Okay, let's run it now. So when I'm running, I'm doing something here. Let us check here. So I just go to contact page. See, I just simulating the issue. And now I am in the on which page? Contact page. So it is not able to continue login now. It is not able to continue login. It is waiting for some time for login page actually. Just look at the behavior. Intentionally, I click on the contact page to make my test failure. So it is trying to find the login page. It is not able to find it. Still, it is waiting for the login page. So observe few seconds. It will automatically close it and again it will open the page because we specify the rerun option, right? So it is automatically closed. Now again observe. Second time it is automatically open. Again I went to contact page. Second time I'm simulating the failure. Second time I'm simulating the failure. Observe carefully. Now again it is waiting for few seconds. Second time simulating the failure. Third time I don't want to disturb so that it will pass. See, it will close this page automatically and again it will reopen the page because we specify the auto rerun. 3 times we specified. So third time I'll try to make it pass. So this will close in few seconds. We specify 10 seconds, right? So in the code itself. So it is waiting 10. Now we can see third time it is open. This time I'm just ensuring my test will pass. I'm not disturbing anything. So login page is open, successfully login, and my test is got successfully passed. Third time it is passed. So first 2 times I just interrupted intentionally. Means I just make intentionally unstable. Now just observe the output here. Here it is additionally showing RR. How many R's it is showing? How many R's? 3 R's actually. 2 R's, right? So that means what? 2 times it is trying to retrieve the test. And third time it is passed. So it is just giving dot. Third time it is passed. So dot is representing passed. Okay. So first 2 times it is trying to retrieve. Third time it is get passed. Suppose intentionally, even though third time intentionally failed, then what happens? 3 times it is retrieved. And finally it will fail the test. Okay. Because we specified only 3 number of times. Okay. So this is how it will work. So even in the parallel runs also, the same feature will work as usual. Even in the parallel test, most of the times there is a chance of failing the test, especially when you run the test in parallel mode, right? Chances are very high. So in those cases also, this feature will work. This is called auto retrieve feature, which is also called rerun feature. And how we can achieve this? By installing PyTest rerun failures plugin. To install this, we can execute this command. Pip. This is only one time job. Okay. So this is how we can achieve this. So, okay. Now all these features we have seen through the code. So how to capture the videos, we written the code for screenshot, trace, even auto retrieving also we specify the command through command line, right? But this time we can achieve all these things in one single shot using configuration file. So we no need to do any additional coding in our automation tests. We no need to write any additional lines in our automation test. We can simply create one single configuration file and we can achieve all these things in one single shot. Let me show you how it is possible. So for that, I will create a simple additional test case, a simple test case, and I will capture the videos, a screenshot, trace file, okay, and also auto retrieving. Everything I will put in one single file. So let's go and create another file, test underscore sample. This is a common test for everything. Okay, I'm just calling it a sample. Okay, so in the test underscore sample, I will create 3 different tests for now. So this is, we can achieve screenshot, video, trace, and everything in one single shot. Okay. So simple, I created one simple test URL. I'm launching the page and verifying the title. Second test, I'm launching the page. Again, I'm verifying the title. So here I'm verifying the URL. Here I'm verifying the title. In the third test, I'm verifying the login. Same application, but 3 different tests I have written. Okay. Now for this particular test, I want to generate the screenshots, videos, trace file, everything. Okay. So for that, what we no need to write any additional code inside the test. Simple. We no need to write any additional code. So we need to create one Python file, pytest.ini file. Okay, pytest.ini file we need to create. So let me create here. So that file should be uh, part of this folder, or you can put inside the main folder. So let me put inside the main folder. Here I'm going to create a new file. I will call it as a, this is a PyTest specific feature, guys. Okay, it is not Playwright feature. That's the reason there is some differences. So whatever we have achieved through the code may not be able to achieve through INI file. There are some differences. I'll tell you. PyTest.ini file I'm creating. So inside the file, the first statement to be, sorry. So have we used this pytest.ini file earlier? Do you guys remember? Did we use this file earlier? Pytest.ini. Did you guys remember what is the purpose of using pytest.ini? Why we have used it? To specify the markers at the time of grouping and all, we have used this, right? So the same file. This is a PyTest configuration file, basically. This is not a Playwright configuration file. This is PyTest specific configuration file. Okay. So we need to write one entry called PyTest. Now here we will add one option, one variable called add options. Add 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 options equal to, here you can put all the options whatever you want. Now I want to run my test in headed mode. That is also you can specify. Even browser also you can specify. Browser equal to Chromium. That also you can specify. Hyphen browser equal which browser you want to run your test. That also you can specify. Chromium. And there are many parameters. Chromium. And video you want to generate. Simply say hyphen video equal to on. One parameter. Now space. I want to generate the screenshot. So hyphen screenshot equal to on. And I want to generate the trace file also. Then space hyphen trace, not trace, tracing equal to on. So all these parameters you can specify, and you can put them in multiple lines also. Suppose if you want to put multiple lines, you can just do like this. We need to give one tab space. Okay. These are all parameters under add options. So in future, I will add more number of options here. For now, these are enough. Headed mode I'm running. I'm running in the Chromium browser. Give one space here. Okay. It should be, indentation is very important. Okay. So headed mode, browser Chromium, video on, screenshot on, tracing on. And we are not going to change anything in this code. Just we will run this test only through INI file. Okay. So test is ready. INI file is ready. Now let us run the test. When you run the test, what will happen? Our PyTest by default will try to choose these options when you run your test case. Okay, when you're running the test case, PyTest by default choose these options, then run the test. Look at this. But where the video will be, where the video file will be created, where the screenshot will be created, where tracing file will be created, we will see that. Okay, so first of all, videos, uploads, everything is there, right? So let me run the test under day 2 through go to command prompt directly. So through command prompt, we need to run. So remember guys, to pick this pytest.ini file, you need to run only through command prompt, not through UI. Right. So now I'm running the test. So day 32, test underscore sample dot py. Headed mode we already given in the options. So this is not needed. Rerun everything. I'm just removing. I'm just giving only test underscore sample, nothing else. So we will see the default locations, okay, where exactly the video will be created, screenshot will be created, tracing for 3 tests I've mentioned, all 3 tests. Okay, go back. Everything is ready. Now I'm running the test. Just observe. 3 items are collected. Now all 3 tests will be executed one after another. First test is done. Now this is my second test. Now this is my third test, login. Perfect. Now all 3 tests are successfully executed. Okay, somehow this is got failed because the time is very less. Not that one. I think this is a failed. So We can identify this. So expect page to have URL. So this URL is got failed. Actually, intentionally I'm failing, guys. Okay, sorry. Intentionally, I have just failed the test. So one test will fail, second test will pass, and third test also will be passed. So intentionally I failed the first step because the URL is here correct. I gave the incorrect URL. Because in the trace file, we can see the failures. Okay. Close this. Now look at this. Where exactly the video, screenshot, trace files are got created. So these files will be created under test results folder. This file, this folder will automatically created by PyTest. So earlier we don't have this. Now this folder is newly created by PyTest. So if you just expand this file, now how many tests we have run? 3 tests. So 3 folders have been created internally. For login, title, URL. Now let us open one test folder. You can see this. This is a screenshot of the login test. Trace file, video. You can directly double click on this video file. It will play. So you can just right click, open in associated application. Now the video will be played because it's a small test, very faster. Now it is a login test. Video will be created. Done. So the test result folder will be created and all these things, video, screenshot, tracing, everything will be part of the particular folder. And these things will be created test case wise or test functions or test methods wise. So even though we are run the single file, because we have multiple test functions or test methods. So that's the reason for every test method, there is a separate folder is got created and corresponding screenshots, trace file, video will be attached here. And one disadvantage of this particular approach is we cannot specify the names randomly. So video, screenshot, tracing, everything is a built-in names. We cannot provide any timestamps and all, not allowed in this pytest.ini file. That is a limitation. Okay. So now again, if you want to open the trace file, how we can open the trace file? Go to the terminal. How to open the trace file? What is the command? How to open the trace file? I told you 2 ways actually, but I have shown only one way, right? I'll show you second way also. The command is what? Playwright show hyphen trace, show hyphen trace space. File name is what? Trace dot zip. Can we give like this directly? Because where is this trace.zip file is present inside this folder, right? So first we need to go to this folder. So you need to copy the path or reference. Then you need to give this command. Command is same. Playwright show trace, and you need to give the complete path. Or else you need to navigate to, So you need to go to that folder. Okay, let's go to the folder. So cd test results. Inside the test results, cd day 32 login. Now here you can see the files. Okay, so you can see the trace file. So here you can give the command playwright show hyphen trace space trace dot zip. So this will open the trace file. Now we can look at this. So for single test I have opened, right? So same login steps, locators, call, logs, errors, everything is there. So the trace file is got created again test method wise. Now another way is there to open the trace file. Suppose if you don't want to see the command and we cannot directly open the zip file. So there is another way. Like we have a Playwright is provided one website. Let me open this. Go to the browser. In the browser we can open. Okay. So in the browser, go to this URL trace.playwright.dev. If I open this URL, you need to browse the zip file. So whatever trace file you created, just you need to browse it. So how we can do that? You can just go to this trace file location where exactly you have. You need to go to this location first. Go to Windows directory, just open this, go to this particular folder. Now this is the trace file, right? So you need to just drag and drop to this website. So I'm just drag and drop. Just drag and drop. Now it is open. See, the trace file is got open. So this is another way. So most of the time developers will use this option. Okay, you can just go to the website and drag and drop. They can analyze it. So these are the two different ways to open the trace file. So video, we already seen. This is a screenshot, trace file, video. So all three things will be configured through ini file. So for this, we don't need to add anything into the tests. Okay. So this is all about video, screenshot, and tracing concept along with auto retrieving. Auto retrieving, we cannot specify in the ini file. So you need to go with the command line itself. And start and stop also we cannot specify when I use ini file. Okay, so when I get the tracing, start and stop is not there, but there are few options are there. So I'll show you what are the additional options. So one disadvantage is what here? What is the disadvantage of this? Disadvantage. We cannot specify the video path and name. We cannot give the screenshot name and path. We cannot also give the name and the path of the tracing file. So by default, it will create a test results folder. Inside this, everything will be there. This is a disadvantage actually. But what is an advantage? The advantage is we can provide the different options here. So suppose when I say video on, every time it will take the video, whether test case passed or failed in all the cases. But I want to take the video only on failures. Or I want to capture the screenshot only on the failures. Do we have such options in the coding? No. But here we can do that. So how we can do that? Let me share a small document. You will understand that. So by default, on option I provided. But apart from that, you can also provide other options. I'll show you those options. So I'll share this document. You can understand. Okay. See, for example, -hyphen screenshot on means what? It will capture screenshot every time. For pass test case, failure test case every time. But instead of on, you say off. So screenshot will be disabled, obviously. But only on failures, I want to get the screenshot. Then you can specify this only on failure option. Or suppose if you are running the test, unstable test cases, you provided the auto retrieve option. Then only first failure you want to capture the screenshot and the next failure you don't want. Then you can specify on first failure option. So these are the 4 options you can provide here, whichever is feasible according to your requirement. So these are the facilities which we have. Same thing for videos also. If I go back to the videos, again 4 options are there. So by default on means for every test case passed or failed, video will be captured. And that will unnecessarily increase the space. But every time we don't need videos, right? So you can make it as off. Whenever you don't want videos, you can disable it by specifying off option. On means every time it will record all the tests. And retain on failures. Keep videos only for failure tests. And on first retrieve means only first time whenever the test is got failed, whenever the first time it is retrieving, it will record the video. Same thing here also. Whenever the first time got failed, it will try to retrieve, right? That time it will take the screenshot. So these options are additionally available for screenshots and recording. And for tracing, also we have 3 options. So every time we can make it on. For every test, every time it will take the trace. And if you want to disable it, we can make it is off. And return on failure means keep traces only for failure test. Whenever tests are get failed, then only we can choose this option. Okay. So these are the additional options are supported when I choose ini file option. But when I choose coding option, these options are not available. Okay. Yes. So when I specify this in ini file, this is applicable for all the test cases in your project. Remember that. And previously, we have done with specific to test case. So if you are using coding concept, that is specific to test case. But this is global. It is applicable for all the test cases. Okay. So these are all some important Playwright specific features. Just do one round of practice, get familiar with this. Okay. So we don't need much assignments on this. Just do 1 or 2 rounds of practice. You will be more familiar with this. Try to open the trace file, try to understand the options and capture the screenshot, capture the videos and try with the PyNI file. I will share this document. Everything is very clear. Screenshots in Playwright. capture screenshot on partial page, full page through the coding. Okay, this is specific element. We already seen this. And through INI file, you can specify this option. And same thing for video recording. This is through coding and this is through INI file. And same tracing and TraceViewer. Through the coding, we need to specify start and stop. And through the INI file also, we can specify that. And how to open the trace file using command line and using this website. And Flaky test, I already shown you how to handle. And the prerequisite is we need to install PyTest, rerun on failure, rerun failures. This is a plugin we need to install. Then we can run the test by specifying the number of reasons and reruns and delay. Okay. So this is how we can handle Flaky tests. So these are all the topics for today's class. In the rest of the features, we will continue in the next class. Okay. That's it.